For the final time in Season 5, 4 drivers take to the Auto Club Speedway with a chance at winning the championship in the Saturday Night Truck Series. At the end of this event, only one driver will lay claim to that title, and it could come down to the number 5 of Jordan Kuntz, the number 48 of Alec Daffin, the number 12 of Vinny Tigner, or the 35 of Henry Kaloff. This is the Season 5 finale in the Saturday Night Truck Series, and 100 laps are ahead of us for the final time in the 12th and final race of the season. With qualifying on the move, drivers are taking their first laps as it stands. There's Vinny Tigner's number 12, Henry Kaloff and Jordan Kuntz have pulled off the track, and Alec Daffin is still on the way. James Nelson moves up to second on the qualifying charts, but as it stands, Jordan Kuntz has that pole position just ahead of Vinny Tigner, and in addition, Scott Erickson rounds out the top 4. Alec Daffin is yet to take a qualifying time so far. Now Daffin gets onto the track, and your 4 championship contenders throughout all of this season have been consistently at the head of the field and make it to this final round with a chance at the winner-take-all season finale. As it's gone throughout this campaign, they have been the multi-time winners, the most consistent in the podium, the top 5 and the top 10, and have not skipped a beat. And now they get a chance to prove who is the best of the bunch at the Auto Club Speedway for 200 miles of racing. Daffin in the wall, and it looks like his qualifying run going to be cut short slightly. He'll only have 1 lap to attempt a fast time. Michael Deitch now takes to the track, and it looks like the number 51 machine for the final time this season also getting on the way. Great to have y'all watching live again on FTN. I'm David Kreutz, commentating and producing all of tonight's action, and qualifying already showing us who might have a chance at that championship that much more than the rest. 2 of the final 4 drivers are Shaw Racing machines, the number 5 of Jordan Kuntz and the number 48 of Alec Daffin alike, both members of the dominant team this season. And right now, Daffin can get on the track one final time, but it looks like he knows no chance at getting a lap in, so Daffin's gonna back it down and bring it back to pit road. Michael Deitch is still on the track. He's the only driver still going, and with that being said, it means that qualifying has effectively concluded. Your lineup has been set, drivers have taken their times, and just like that, we know who's gonna be starting where, as Michael Deitch is taking extra practice laps here, currently 11th on the board. Let's find out who finds themselves at the top of the grid. 4 championship contenders, only 3 of which able to get a fast time in, and as Michael Deitch races across the start-finish line, qualifying has concluded, and now time to see who's got that coveted pole position here in Fontana. And with Michael Deitch coming around this time by, the Tracker Off-Road Chevy Silverado has seen its fair share of solid runs. A part-time campaign from Michael Deitch, strong enough this season to come home with a top 10 points finish. And now time to find out who will be the absolute best of the best and the highest of the high. The season finale's final starting grid of the season has been set. So without further ado, let's see the roundup for Auto Club. This is how they line up for the season finale in Season 5. And as we saw last season, defending champion Jordan Kuntz takes the pole position with a 41.574. Fastest man on the order there in the number 5 machine, just beside James Nelson in second, and Nelson's number 77 machine qualifying a high for the season. The second spot, 41.699 for James Nelson, 3/1000ths of a second ahead of Vinny Tigner. League owner Vinny Tigner qualifies in 3rd. He is still championship eligible and finds himself on the podium just beside Scott Erickson in number 50. Erickson, the 5th driver in the point standing, just the first man out of the championship fight. But with some good speed tonight, he might have a chance for his first race win of the tour. Erickson going to be starting 4th with a 41.729, and just beside him, it will be Henry Kaloff's number 35 machine qualifying in the 5th position. He's the 3rd of the 4 championship contenders tonight, and Kaloff will start 5th with a 41.786. Jacob Elkin finds himself on the 6th position with a 41.809. Then from there, Tyrone Yoh is going to be in the 7th position inside of row number 4. Tyrone's there in the number 2 machine with a 41.859, and Michael Deitch finds himself in the round of the grade 8, 41.8 41.869 for Michael Deitch, as Kenneth Garrell is the final man of the single digits with a 41.884. Chris Tripp concludes the top 10 in the number 90 machine with a 41.959, and tripling you right ahead of Michael Boone, the final driver of which to take a time. Boone, the rookie in the number 5 machine, gets a lap in of a 42.017. Michael Boone will be starting 11th. However, multiple drivers after this number 5 chose not to take a time or were not able to. Alec Daffin, who's going to be the fourth of the 4 championship contenders, starts in the back of the field in 12th and will have to work with a major disadvantage tonight, starting from the tail end of the pack, all his championship rivals at the head of the field. Matthew Weeks, who's oh so quick at these 2-mile tracks, comes back for more inside of row number 7. He'll be starting at 13th, and Curtis Sabaron rounds out the final starting grid of Season 5, 14th and last to kick off the Season 5 finale. That's your starting grid from Fontana. And just like that, the drivers are still on the move. This time by, we're looking at Michael Boone in that number 5 machine. And as Boone makes it around, he's one of the many taking extra practice laps, knowing this is the chance not only for the championship for your final 4, but in addition, the race win also at stake. And a lot of drivers who have not been championship eligible have come through for spoiler performances. We've seen it beforehand in this Clash run. You don't have to be championship eligible to win a race. Right now, as they come through this time by, Scott Erickson, the fastest man, by a 10th and a half. Erickson finds himself at the top of the board here in second practice, and that's the way they'll stay now. 1 minute and 48 seconds left on the board and still counting down, as this Toyota Tundra is the fastest driver right now, ahead of Kenneth Garrell, Michael Boone, and Tyrone Yo, as it's going to be Jacob Elkins rounding the back straightaway this time by. Elkins, a substitute driver for Alec Daffin throughout the season, now making his second start of the campaign for the number 10 crew, first coming in at Richmond, then substituting for Alec Daffin immediately thereafter, and now as Jacob Elkins comes across the stripe, this will be his first completed lap under second practice, and it's going to take him up to what looks to be third on the board for Jacob Elkins and the number 10. So Elkins going to find himself there in the Ford F-150, third on the order, and the Season 5 finale still moving, as you'll see all of your final 4 contenders have chosen not to take a lap in this session. Now, all the drivers designated with the parentheses and the P are in the final 4. Now, due to the fact they were designated that as their last name, that's what's going to show up on the timing screen tonight. And the number 48 is Alec Daffin, the 35 is Henry Kaloff, the number 12 is Vinny Tigner, and Jordan Kuntz is the number 5. All set to go at it tonight in Fontana, California's 2-mile circuit, coming straight off a race at Michigan. Very similar circuit, high speeds, a lot of moments where you're almost fully on the throttle, if not entirely there. So expect a similar racing environment, even though there are some differences. The pavement here, more worn out than Michigan, and you'll see those distinct grooves. You can go 3 wide, 4 wide, even 5 wide at times, and these drivers have a lot of wiggle room to make moves, make mistakes, and manage the track, as Scott Erickson finds himself the fastest driver in the final warm-up session of the season. Now to move on from second practice on to the finale, 100 laps in California. And now it's time to see the final race of the tour play out. 100 laps for 14 drivers as they take to the starting grid. Just about everyone in play already. And Jordan Kuntz, your defending champion, has that pole position. Kuntz came through as a Season 4 champ, and after that season, it was unsure if he was never going to come back or if there was going to be a return in play. However, as the season went on, of course, the off-season, he signed with Shaw Racing and took on the number 5 machine, and with that, became a force to be reckoned with once again. He is the winningest driver of the season, has been dominant throughout, and comes in as your first seed in the number 5 machine. Don't count out Jordan Kuntz, as Shaw Racing brings not just the number 5, but also brings Alec Daffin's number 8, or the 48 into the fold, and Daffin is going to be the man starting in 12th tonight, with a lot of troubles making it from the back of the field up to the front, but as Alec Daffin is set to load in very soon, he's another driver to keep an eye out for. He's been on a hot streak as of recent, victories and podiums coming in mass, and it's the best that Alec Daffin's been in this season, this series as well, all throughout his time in the Saturday Night Truck Series. He's on a tear bigger than ever before, and this is his final race with Shaw Racing in the Saturday Night Truck Series, so if he wants to go out with a bang, the championship is of course what he's looking for. Not yet on the grid, but the number 48 machine will be starting in 12th at the back of the field. He'll have a lot to work through as the night goes on, but Alec Daffin, he's still one to keep an eye out for, even if he does have that disadvantage coming from qualifying. Vinny Tigner in the number 12 machine, you'll see that Menards paint scheme. Ryan Blaney, of course inspired by the 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion, and looking for that championship of luck tonight, hoping to finish ahead of all of his championship rivals as the night progresses. Vinny Tigner finds himself qualified in third. And for the Menards Ford F-150, there's certainly a chance to come home with a championship as well. Has not been the strongest of the Ford drivers. He's not seen victory lane just yet. However, as he was last season, he made it to that Final Four based off consistency. Matter of fact, 3 of your 4 drivers in this season's Final Four were in Season 4's Final Four. The exception, Henry Caloff, that number 35 machine making it in for the Underdog Racing podcast. And tonight, final chance in a rookie season to remember, winning at Talladega. He's had multiple top 5 performances, podium performances as well, and Caloff, while he might not be an established veteran like Daffin, Kuntz, or Vinny Tigner, he knows he's got just about the pace to make it happen. He just needs to execute tonight, seeing he had some struggles in practice and qualifying, but now there's a chance to redeem himself and make it happen in the race. He's starting up inside the top 5, as is Jordan Kuntz and Vinny Tigner. Alec Daffin lies back, and he's now on the track as well. The Shaw Racing number 48 got a ways to go to make it back up to the front of the field. And for your 3 of the 4 who are veterans in this series, they remember last season at Auto Club, it was not the finale, it was the second race of the season, and we started 45 drivers to kick off the Fontana Tour. Now tonight, that's not going to be the case. It's not going to be as hectic throughout the track, but the implications are major. Go big, go home. A 2-time champion, we're on the verge of seeing one of Jordan Kuntz wins. We're on the verge of seeing a walk-off win if Vinny Tigner makes it happen, his first win, clinching his first championship. Alec Daffin in his final ride for Shaw Racing, coming through in the number 48, looking for a championship chance. And the underdog of all underdogs, Henry Caloff, in a rookie season to remember, hoping to clinch the championship as well. It's the best finisher, takes it all, looking for the race win. Jordan Kuntz has that pole position, leading them to the green. This time by, looking to go back-to-back on titles. The season finale begins. Welcome to the final races of Season 5. Tyrone goes in the grass, but we're on our way from the Auto Club Speedway. Fire past that start-finish line. Alec Daffin is going to be making big moves. His teammate Jordan Kuntz leads the way, and they're already wiggling way on back. You'll see Michael Deitch there with Alec Daffin side by side. Henry Caloff finding trouble so far, but Vinny Tigner not so fast for the number 5 machine. It looks like now Vinny's got a shot to pull side by side, getting closer with that momentum on the top side, following Jordan Kuntz lap after lap. Jacob Elkins now runs in the 3rd position. Number 10 machine making his way back up. Michael Deitch holds his own in 4th, and right now Henry Caloff is 5th. Separation between your final 4 drivers within 1 second already. No caution. Tyrone Yoha is going to face some trouble and fade to the back of the field. Otherwise, everyone else is still clean and green as we get things going for the first time tonight. Alec Daffin's going to see right now that his teammate leads the way, but Vinny Tigner's making some moves, trying to show that he's got the speed to lunge down the bottom, make that decision, and take the momentum away from Jordan Kuntz, which has not been done all throughout the season, give or take a few races where Kuntz has just not been able to make it happen. And for the most part, Jordan Kuntz has been that dominant driver, and when strategy plays out in his way, it's very challenging to get in front of this number 5. Now, of course, defending champion, it means an awful lot for that number 5 team to come through knowing that this driver has championship experience. However, tonight it might play out differently because Daffin and Jordan Kuntz are teammates this season. That was not the case the season prior. Now these two drivers can work together to get away from the rest of the championship competitors. Henry Kaloff already fading back slightly, and Vinny Tigner, while he still is in the mix, now sees Jacob Elkins right up top, and Elkins has his ties to Shaw Racing as well, helping out with Alec Daffin substituting in that number 48 just a few weeks ago, and now trying to pull it through on the middle groove, pulling Michael Deitch as well. Looks like it's going to be Vinny Tigner fading back just a bit, and Alec Daffin now runs that high side and making up more and more time in the number 48. And it looks like right now Jordan Kuntz going to be pushing up to that higher side, trying to make some of it. The Shaw Racing number 5 machine already putting that defensive driving into work. Now Jordan Kuntz does not have to win this race to win the championship. However, he has to finish higher than Vinny Tigner, Henry Kaloff, and Alec Daffin. That's how it goes. You do not necessarily have to win this event. However, if you win the event as a championship 4 contender, you automatically lock up the championship no matter what. And right now, Jacob Elkins trying to take away that automatic lockup from Jordan Kuntz. He's right there in the back bumper. Michael Deitch is running strong as well, and Michael's going to block up high. He's going to now end up nearly in the middle and end up dropping down low as Alec Daffin continues to have that burst of momentum, and he got off the line really quick at the end of the first lap, starting in 12th on the starting grid. He made it all the way up into 7th, and now is at a standstill in 5th, but by no means has he gotten any slower. Just a lot of traffic here, and high-speed traffic is a bit more difficult to navigate through than drivers who are overtly slower. Right now, it's going to be Jacob Elkins up top looking for the race lead. Jordan Kuntz still has it way down low, and Michael Deitch is also pulling strings and pushing down to the bottom as the battle for the lead continues side by side. There goes Jacob Elkins way up top. He's got the momentum, he's got the speed, and at the stripe, new race leader, it's going to be Jacob Elkins taking it to the top of the board and bringing Alec Daffin right there with him. Michael Deitch is going to opt to take it 3 wide this time by getting risky quick. Michael Deitch down to the bottom, and they're 3 wide for the race lead. Championship contender in the middle. Deitch goes low, about the riskiest move he could make, and is going to have to settle right back in. Close call there for the number 51 machine of Michael Deitch. Luckily, nothing comes of it, but Jacob Elkins continues to fight up top, and he's got Alec Daffin there with him as Henry Kaloff also shoots it down to the bottom. Kaloff explaining that his long run speed not the best in the business tonight. However, right now carried by that draft, and he does not have to worry all too much about individual speed so long as he keeps up with the end of this big pack. Keeping on the tail end is what he's got to do right now, and the 35 machine ends up in the 6th spot, keeping up behind Elkins and the Shaw Racing duo. But take a look at this now. Jordan Kuntz no longer the leader, and it looks like Alec Daffin right up to the back bumper. Daffin there in the number 48 machine right behind Jordan Kuntz, right on board with Jordan here. As you'll see, Alec Daffin not going to cut him any slack, and now they're as close as they've been all night long. Jordan Kuntz started on the pole position. Alec Daffin started in 12th, and only 8 laps in, they're almost next to each other. They're only 1 position apart, and that order could swap at any moment. Daffin's made big moves. Jordan Kuntz maintains his up front track position. Jacob Elkins is your new race leader, and a championship spoiler now finds himself up in front. As the drivers begin to get a bit more spread out, single file, Henry Kaloff finding some struggles here as Michael Deitch, Curtis DeBaron, Kenneth Gurrell all racing with him fiercely, and number 35 machine saw trouble at Michigan in an early incident involving he and Alec Daffin, ended up sending Kaloff into the wall, and that was effectively the end of his night. No cautions when he went down to Michigan, and he was not able to get that saving grace of a yellow flag to put himself back in the mix, so Kaloff ended up finishing dead last as a result, and right now, not much better in terms of his performance, knowing his championship rivals are right ahead. Vinny Tigner's going to take 2nd in the championship race. Vinny's going to find himself now 3rd overall as Alec Daffin gets mired back immediately thereafter, and the question begins to settle in. How hard is Alec Daffin pushing, because he made it up many spots so quick. But now, thinking about those longer runs, can Alec Daffin handle it as Kenneth Gurrell is going to drop down to the bottom, nearly go all the way down to the inside retaining wall, and not making any contact, but Gurrell fades back into 12th now and has to settle for being in the back of the pack just ahead of Chris Tripp as the front runners continue to get away. Now Henry Kaloff getting right behind Alex Daffman. All of a sudden, two pairs of two in your championship battle. Vinny Tigner and Jordan Kuntz getting away, and at the end of 10 laps, that's the way they roll. Jacob Elkins, your leader. Jordan Kuntz up top to second. Vinny Tigner down low. He's going to try to take that spot away, and all of a sudden, that number 12 machine looking good for what could be his first taste of the championship lead all season long. Now, with Jacob Elkins up in front, it is now possible for Vinny Tigner to win the championship without winning a race, and while it's going to be an improbable performance, if possible, it could happen, and right now, could be the most realistic outcome. If not Jordan Kuntz winning the title, Daffin and Henry Kaloff now getting mired back in traffic. Michael Deitch is defending well, but I'm certain that Daffin's not happy at all in the slightest here. As you can see, he's losing a lot more time to both the leaders up in front, and Henry Kaloff more the same. As Kaloff tries to lunge down low, he's going to take it clearly by Alec Daffin, only to wash right back up and slow the both of them down. They're all trying to link back up to Vinny Tigner here, because Vinny's not too far out of frame, but Michael Deitch right now not getting that good connection off of the exit of every corner, and that's where you really gain your time. That momentum off of turn 2 and off of turn 4 as well. Get down to the front straightaway and you have all that speed to launch you off the corner. That's when you're much quicker, and right now that substantial boost of speed is not really coming for these drivers, and they're having a bit of trouble getting back up there. As right now, it's going to be 13 laps in, out of 100. So far, so good for Michael Deitch's number 51 machine, as he's going to run in 4th. And there's a battle right now, 3rd in the championship order. Alec Daffin and Henry Kaloff still fighting each other, as Vinny Tigner holds his own in the number 12 machine. Now, Vinny Tigner was not successful in his efforts last season, gaining the championship victory. Came home 3rd in the standings in the winner-take-all event of the Homestead at Miami Speedway. It was Jordan Kuntz who came home as the championship winner, of course. Daffin came through 2nd, Vinny Tigner 3rd, and at the end of the night, Vinny was not able to get it done, but tonight might just be a different story now. Last season, Homestead of Miami was the season finale circuit, as opposed to going to Fontana to get things started. Now, Jordan Kuntz gets the race lead, and it looks like now it's going to be that number 10 machine right up top. Vinny Tigner lunges it down low to get right beside Jacob Elkins, and they'll be side by side once again, as Alec Daffin tries to find a window just above Michael Deitch. He'll be able to do so, and just like that, Alec Daffin breaks away from that number 51, and that's exactly what he needed to see in the rearview mirror now. Michael Deitch holding off Henry Kaloff, so that's going to help in Alec Daffin's case, but Vinny Tigner not done yet battling with Jordan Kuntz. He gets by Jacob Elkins, and now Jordan is only one spot away once again from losing that championship lead, but he's got a bit of track position to work with here, and now the question is, can Jordan Kuntz break the draft and gain some distance? Now, by no means is that easy, of course, but right now, Jacob Elkins is going to fade back to 3rd. Vinny Tigner is going to be there in 2nd, but not really as close as he was compared to when they were battling beforehand. And now that Jacob Elkins is out the way, Jordan Kuntz has that clean air as the overall race leader and might try to do a few things different here to get away from the championship rivals who are in the back of the pack. Now, Henry Kaloff really having some struggles here as Matthew Weeks now goes down to the bottom side, and the number 35 machine continuing to struggle up to the top of the track, hitting the wall and making some contact early. So Henry Kaloff going to see continued difficulties as that number 35 machine struggles to get out of turn 4. Now getting in 7th and still fading a bit further back. Kaloff going to keep fighting here as the leaders get away just ahead of him. You see there's Jordan Kuntz still leading the way, and Vinny Tigner just behind, 1st and 2nd respectively between the top 2 drivers. They're only separate by 2/10, and that is still about the same lap after lap. Jordan Kuntz that time by was about 1/10 of a second slower than Vinny Tigner, so Vinny is quick enough to stay right on the back bumper, if not gain a bit of time, but has not been able to make anything special happen so far in terms of getting that race lead. When it comes down to it, 16 laps in out of 100, we are seeing tire wear already, and it's becoming major. That time by, Jordan Kuntz ran a 43.74. His best lap in the session is a 42.005. So already nearly 2 seconds of tire wear lap after lap. Goes to show the troubles these drivers are facing and keeping it straight, because that tire wear means a lot less grip, a lot less control. That's why Henry Kaloff right now fading all the way back into 8th, and Scott Erickson now going to try to find his way around and go for that 8th spot, sending Henry Kaloff down to what would be the 9th position. Jordan Kuntz, though, is going to keep himself out in front, nice and smooth. Alec Daffin makes it back up the 3rd once again. Looks like it's going to be Jacob Elkins tagging the wall as he continues to fade back. Now 3 of your championship 4 run 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. That's how they go. 17 laps in out of 100, make it down to lap 18, and Chris Tripp is already going to come down to pit road, the first driver of which to make his way in. Chris Tripp and that number 90 machine on the way, with Tyrone Yo now going to be in 13th. Chris Tripp is your first driver to take a competitive pit stop on the night, and we might see a 3 to 4 stop strategy depending on when drivers come in for their first pit stop here. So expect pit stops until about lap 30 for this first pit cycle. Jordan Kuntz leads the way just ahead of Vinny Tigner and Alec Daffin, then in 3rd. Take a look on board now with the number 5 machine, looking for the deck lid of the Shaw Racing F-150. Looking now, 19 laps in out of 100 with Jordan Kuntz and the number 5. It's going to be that F-150 leading the way. His teammate in the Chevy Silverado runs 3rd, but right now the defending champion still has the top spot and has been exactly where he needed to be all throughout the race to this point. Getting that pole position, leading most laps so far, while Vinny Tigner is still there in 2nd. He's going to have to think about something when it comes to strategy to really make that difference right now. That's what it's going to come down to. Maybe taking 2 tires on that final stop, maybe taking a splash of fuel to keep things going. Maybe finding that advantage is going to be the more important situation to keep an eye on, as opposed to simply outracing this number 5, because right now Jordan Kuntz has the field in check, and while Alec Daffin has made it up in the 3rd, he's certainly burnt up his equipment. Starting in the 12th position, he's had to work much harder than anyone else to get up to the spot, and even though he's there now, he's got to understand you can't push that stuff much harder, or you're going to find yourself in trouble by the end of the night. So Jordan Kuntz continues to see that tire fatigue wearing more and more. He's got the lead, however, and now stretching it slightly to about 0.3 of a second. Vinny Tigner going to be 3rd, not for much longer. He gets up to 2nd, and Alec Daffin lays back as the final driver on the podium. Henry Kaloff continuing to see struggles here as a driver inside the final 4. Not good at all to be running outside of the top 5, because right now his championship rivals are 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And you can see them all in frame here and now, running away from the rest of the field. Looks like Henry Kaloff going in the wrong direction as Jordan Kuntz continues to lead, and the rest of the guys he's got to keep an eye out for are just ahead of him. Now Henry Kaloff finds himself 3 seconds back on the top spot, and mired back in traffic here. Odds are he's going to have to play the strategy vastly different for any opportunity to make something happen. In a similar position for Henry Kaloff as it was for Alec Daffin. Now Daffin in last season's finale played a much different strategy, decided to go to pit road earlier to kick off the night, led many laps, but was not on cycle for the remainder of the event, and as a result ended up not as the championship winner, but instead as the driver who came home runner-up. So now Daffin sees pressure from Matthew Weeks, goes down to the bottom side, and Matthew Weeks takes that 3rd spot immediately. Number 48 machine fades out the podium, and it could be Matthew Weeks looking for not only the number 48, but Vinny Tigner as well, and might have enough speed to get by Jordan Kuntz when all is said and done. Jordan Kuntz has that race lead, however, 22 laps in out of 100, making it now to lap number 23, and that's the way they roll. The season 5 finale kicking off with a caution-free run to get the night going. You'll see now Henry Kaloff down to the bottom side, Curtis Sabarin right up top, and Scott Erickson going to be high as well, as they're all going to be side by side for a brief moment. Curtis Sabarin is going to make it by once again. Michael Deitch has faded back into 6th, but now going to see a bit more pressure as Scott Erickson lunges down low and tries to take another position away from Kaloff. He backs off and waits for another opportunity to go for the same move. Up front once again, Matthew Weeks going to be right there in third in the JD Designs number 11, having a race victory under his belt so far this season when it comes to most of the drivers ahead of him. However, right now for Matthew Weeks, he's still racing for his own chance at the checkered flag. Part-time campaign for Matthew so far this season, as opposed to a full-time run he made in Season 4, and he's had that same speed of these big tracks that has made him one of the best in the business at Fontana and at Michigan. And these two tracks that have suited his racing style the best are the second to last and the last races of the tour, so no question if Matthew Weeks gets this same schedule variation in another future season, he'll have a chance at fighting for the championship, because right now he runs ahead of Alec Daffin, is chasing down Vinny Tigner, and as a matter of fact looks to be quicker than both Jordan Kuntz and Vinny Tigner alike. In the first quarter of this race, only one championship spoiler finds himself up ahead of the field. That is Matthew Weeks, and so far running very strong at the top of the order. It's the number 5, the number 12, and then the number 11. Matthew Weeks not done just yet, fighting for a race victory, even if he's not eligible for the championship. Now it's going to be Scott Erickson making moves with Henry Kaloff. Kaloff's going to find himself back up in his 7th. Now going to try to take a look now for the 6th position as James Nelson goes way down low. Kaloff gets down to block him. Michael Deitch going to stay up high. Doesn't have all too much momentum down low, so Kaloff has to settle for 7th, at least for now, and wait for a later time to get back up there to Henry Kaloff. It's going to be Scott Erickson lying back, James Nelson there too, and it's going to be Jacob Elkins far ahead of this battle, but far behind the leaders. Jacob Elkins right now in his own world and really not going to be competing with anyone else as it stands, finding himself in the 5th position, that number 10 machine running on its own. And 26 laps in, really nothing to worry about right now for this Smithfield F-150. Running solidly inside the top 5, nobody in front, nobody behind. Just keep running those laps and wait for the pit strategy to come into play. As right now, 26 laps into the 100, we're waiting on that very first pit stop down and in. Looks like right now, 26 laps in, we haven't gotten it from almost anyone, save for Chris Tripp, which means we possibly could see a 2-stop strategy as the race goes on. Or do we? As coming down the pit road this time by Alec Daffin is going to bring Jacob Elkins in. Jordan Kuntz stays out, and just like that, we could see that 3-stop strategy into play for some drivers as Daffin and Elkins make their way in this time by. Pit road getting busy for the first time tonight. Championship drivers coming through, and now Jordan Kuntz is going to have the chance to come down to pit road this time by. His championship rival and teammate Alec Daffin makes it in, and now for the Shaw Racing number 5 machine, the call is to stay out on the track. And it looks like the same call going to be made by Vinny Tigner, and for Henry Kaloff, more of the same in the back of the field. Michael Deitch is going to make his way in, though, this time by. He will bring Kenneth Garrell. Both drivers going to come in at once, so another 2-driver pair making its way down and in, and just like that, the number 51 machine is through, so is the number 57. Michael Boone is also due to follow, and just like that, another driver makes it through, and it's going to be pit road getting even busier here with Jordan Kuntz now catching up to his number 48 teammate, and Alec Daffin going to be put 1 lap down immediately thereafter. Or is he? Take a look at that big jump from Alec Daffin to be able to get right in front of his leading teammate. Even though Jordan Kuntz has that race lead, the old tires are absolutely shredded. That time by running at 43.967, 2 seconds slower than his all-time quickest lap in the session. Goes to show right now these old tires are not holding up well in the slightest, and Daffin's going to be able to make up about 2 seconds a lap on Jordan Kuntz at the rate he's driving. James Nelson, Henry Kaloff, Curtis Sabarin all coming in at the same time, and just like that, another bunch comes in, only leaving us with 4 drivers who have not gone down a pit road for their first pit stop of the day. Jordan Kuntz now rides alone. Matthew Weeks is going to be 0.6 of a second behind, and it looks like for Jordan Kuntz, he will not call it quits. Going to try to keep running this stint long, and the reason is he's done this before at Fontana. Running the strategy long on the first stint guarantees a safer second and final stint, which means if you get the warning out the way right now, you'll have a much better chance at putting together that solid strategy later. And Daffin risks it early, knowing he does not have the speed right now to keep up with Jordan. And Scott Erickson comes down a pit road as well. So just like that, it's going to be Alec Daffin finding himself as the leader of those who have gone down a pit road so far, and he's gaining big time on Jordan Kuntz and the like. Kuntz is going to come down the back straightaway here and now, still waiting to come down a pit road. And 30 laps in out of 100. Jordan Kuntz going to be coming around at 150 miles an hour. Opts to go all the way up to the top of the track and still no signs of stopping. And just like that, Jordan Kuntz keeps it moving. Looks like Vinny Tigner opts to come down to pit road, and Tigner in the number 12 down in this time by makes it into pit road. And another driver. Now 3 of your final 4 contenders have gone down to pit road at least once. Jordan Kuntz and Matthew Weeks keeping us waiting. And it looks like this time by as they go through turns 1 and 2, still no signs of slowing down. Vinny Tigner going to be on pit road as it stands. He makes it in, and Alec Daffin is going to be making it around turns 3 and 4 with Jordan Kuntz soon to follow. As Alec Daffin makes it in, the number 5 machine is going to be making it through as well. And just like that, it looks like it's still no sign of stopping. Jordan Kuntz remains on the track, and it looks like the strategy might just be to go for that 2-stop call. As 31 laps in, coming on to lap number 32, the risk is being taken, and Jordan Kuntz is still the man on the track. And now it's going to be Alec Daffin seeing that number 12 machine of Tigner fall further and further behind. Vinny Tigner 1 lap down, barely able to muster up the speed to get back with the leading drivers. Now those new tires are going to carry him big time to get right ahead of Jordan Kuntz if he's got enough laps left on it. But Jordan Kuntz, still being as unpredictable as it gets, remains on the track 32 laps in. Matthew Weeks getting towed around, sees the sign, and it looks like the sign is to keep on going as the number 5 machine makes it across the stripe once again for what will be lap number 33. Only 3 drivers now on the lead lap, going back to Alec Daffin. Daffin right now in third is the final man on that lead lap. The rest of the field is 1 lap down as it stands. Jacob Elkins is the man in the 4th position. Vinny Tigner currently finds himself scored in 5th, and right now Vinny's much quicker than that of Matthew Weeks or Jordan Kuntz. So keep an eye out now for that number 12 machine as he barrels into turns 3 and 4, right on board with the number 12, as those new tires are going to carry him clearly past their leading pair. And sailing so quickly through for Vinny Tigner, that number 12 machine makes it by and does so with ease. Vinny Tigner going to be able to take it all the way back up to the lead lap, and now Jordan Kuntz comes down to pit road. The number 5 machine is down and in, and now Matthew Weeks, the only driver left on the track. 34 laps in out of 100. Matthew Weeks occupies the top spot on the board, and for the first time tonight, Matthew Weeks is your race leader, and he's hoping to make that strategy work to an even more extreme degree. Still on the track, and he's got a ways to go until he gets back to pit road. So Matthew Weeks this time by slowing down. Looks like the call is to come in after a 34 lap stint. Or is it coming through this time by 150 miles an hour? He ducks down at the last second, and just like that, it's going to be the number 11 in. Matthew Weeks makes it. Just like that, Alec Daffin going to cycle back up to the race lead. He's got a substantial advantage as it stands on Jordan Kuntz, and Jordan's going to come out about 10 seconds behind. And looking at that machine, the number 5 machine fades back behind Jacob Elkins, behind Vinny Tigner. However, the big advantage for Jordan Kuntz right now is how young his tires are going to be on the next few laps. You'll see the big difference, because right now, while he's 10 seconds back on his teammate, he's got 7 lap fresher tires. That is a substantial advantage, and right now that number 5 machine going to be let loose to rip on the high side or choose to go down to the bottom. No matter where, it looks like now Jordan Kuntz has the fastest truck on the track, and Matthew Weeks going to take it down to pit road this time by, get back on the way as well. And just like that, Matthew Weeks back on the move, gets things going. He'll be running in about the 7th position by the time everything is fully cycled out. Alec Daffin, as he did in Homestead last season, has the race lead off a different strategy, decides to come in a bit earlier than the rest of the pack. Vinny Tigner going to be running the middle strategy. He came in between both Vinny Tigner, of course, he came there in between Alec Daffin and Jordan Kuntz, and now has the benefit of being ahead of Jordan Kuntz, but also has that benefit of being faster than Alec Daffin. So we'll see how this strategy plays out, as it looks like taking the middle opportunity. Vinny Tigner right now 36 laps in out of 100, chases down Daffin, has made up about half a second already in the past half lap. And at that rate, Alec Daffin would be caught before the halfway point. We'll see how realistic that approach is, as the 48 has the race lead and the championship lead at the same time. And right now for Alec Daffin, having that race lead and a championship lead at the same time, knowing it's his final event here in the Saturday Night Truck Series with Shaw Racing, this could be the big night he's been waiting for nearly 2 years of racing. Ever since his debut here for Shaw Racing, Alec Daffin's been one of the most competitive drivers in the entirety of the league, and now coming through after a runner-up finish in the championship standings in Season 4, tonight an opportunity to redeem himself in one final ride with Shaw Racing. Came back during the offseason expecting for last season to be his final ride, had the opportunity to return on a one last season deal, and the number 48 back in business for Shaw Racing Products. This is a go big or go home night, and they know that they've got 2 drivers looking for a championship shot, the defending league champion, and in addition, their driver that they've developed for the past several years up there in the front of the field. Once again, Daffin is leading laps right now, but losing time, as it looks like now Jordan Kuntz is catching up to Vinny Tigner, and this could be the saving grace for Alec Daffin if these 2 drivers decide to slow each other down and fight for the second spot, as opposed for going for the lead right now. That could make it Alec Daffin's championship to lose. And right now, James Nelson in a fierce battle with Henry Kaloff and Matthew Weeks as well. Weeks gets by the both of them, and now that number 11 machine gonna make it past the 35 and the 77 alike. James Nelson gonna lose a bit more time. Looks like Matthew Weeks makes it through easy, and Henry Kaloff's number 8 spot gonna be held. However, he's gonna be losing a spot if James Nelson has that speed up top, and it looks like the number 77 makes another pass, and Henry Kaloff still having trouble. It's that number 35 machine came in tonight as, of course, one of the final 4 contenders, but it looks like unlike his championship rivals at the head of the field, he's not been able to make much of it tonight. Auto Club not being a track he's all too strong at, and you can see right now the long-term disadvantage he has is substantial. First, second, third, and then Henry Kaloff in 8th. That is where your final 4 drivers run in terms of positions. Big-time disadvantage right now, and Henry Kaloff continues to fade back big as he's 12 seconds back on your leading driver. Alec Daffin holds a 7.5 second advantage over Vinny Tigner as Jordan Kuntz lies back in the draft, and he's letting Vinny do all the work to get back up to your leading man. That's the game plan right now for Vinny Tigner, letting that number 12 do all the work and getting back up to Alec Daffin, then slingshotting by the both of them at the same time. And with how much time they made up so far, it looks like it's going to be a fair shot to get up there before the lap 50 marker, and that's when we get, of course, to that second half to finish off the final race of Season 5. Right now, though, for Alec Daffin, he's got a solid enough race lead to not worry about all too much. However, we'll see whether or not that's going to continue to be the case, as now it's a 6.5 second advantage, with Vinny Tigner continuing to be quick. He's only on the cusp of a 43 second lap by 2/10. However, Alec Daffin on the cusp of a 44 second lap. These drivers are much different in terms of speed right now. That's 7 lap difference in terms of tire wear for Jordan Kuntz and Alec Daffin. It's going to come into play more and more as this run goes on, and you got to wonder, what is the next move for a guy like Daffin or even like Vinny Tigner, because Daffin has the major disadvantage in terms of tire right now, but Vinny Tigner also went down to pit road several laps before Jordan Kuntz did, and now 41 laps in out of 100, while he's ahead of that number 5 machine, it doesn't mean it's going to remain that way for all too much longer, as the number 12 continues to tow your defending champion around. This might be the moment of the race that really sends the Season 4 champion back to back. Jordan Kuntz remains on the tail end of Vinny Tigner as it stands, and 42 laps in, Jacob Elkin's going to fade back a bit further as Henry Kaloff and James Nelson continue to battle. And now Kaloff lunges down low. Front runners right now not going to be all too close to each other. No major moves being made at the front of the field. However, Henry Kaloff still looking for an opportunity to make some spots back up in the case he gets a miracle caution, gets that final opportunity. He wants to set himself up nicely for a chance at the championship, and running right now in 7th. Of course, not a solid performance in his standard, but overall still a very solid performance for any driver on any given night. However, right now, for any fair chance of the championship, even with a restart, he'd have to be up there inside the top 5, and while James Nelson is a feasible pass, Scott Erickson might not be, because Erickson continues to run away as Curtis Sabarin and Michael Deitch are going to go side by side briefly. Looks like Curtis Sabarin also makes it by Jacob Elkins, and Jacob, who was leading earlier in the going, now finds himself in the 9th position with the the oldest tires of any driver in the field, save for Alec Daffin. Jacob Elkins is severely struggling and once again loses a spot there as Michael Beich makes it by. Jacob Elkins now the final man on the top 10 order. He's 10th place and finds himself 16 seconds back on race leader Alec Daffin. As that time by, Alec only has a 5.5 second advantage to play with here, and Vinny Tigner, Jordan Kuntz, they're still coming up quick, and you'll see now that number 5 machine drops down to the bottom side, and the Menards machine gonna see some trouble. 12 machine up top, number 5 right down low, and they'll be side by side barreling down the back straightaway, and here they go again. The season 5 finale coming down to your 3 championship contenders up in front. Now this is gonna be Jordan Kuntz making a move on Vinny Tigner. He'll go down low, has the pass made, and just like that, Jordan Kuntz up to second, making another big move in the heat of the moment. So just like that, Jordan Kuntz gonna take it quickly by Vinny Tigner. Enough work has been done to tow him within 5 seconds. Now Jordan Kuntz would like to do the rest of the work and get up there to Alec Daffin on his own. Vinny Tigner fades back just a bit, of course, but not going to be any substantial losses just yet. Now, it's going to be time for Jordan Kuntz to turn on the jets, get things going, and use all the equipment he's saved up, the tires and the fuel, to make that run up to his teammate here as Alec Daffin continues to lead the way. And now with Alec Daffin holding that advantage of only 4.5 seconds each lap that goes by, just about a second gets lost every time around. So substantial losses here for Alec Daffin, and he knows that his championship chance might be compromised if Jordan Kuntz gets up to him any quicker. Been so far 19-lap tire run for the driver of the number 48 machine, so he still has a ways to go until his next pit stop, and he knows that if he loses that lead anytime soon, it's going to really hamper his chances at coming home with the championship. Jacob Elkins right now is going to be running there with Kenneth Garrell. The battle for 10th is going to see Garrell advantageous, and Jacob Elkins fades back even further. Now Jacob going to be 11th, and it looks like some damage on that right side too. So from bad to worse for Jacob Elkins, as right now the battle for lead continues to heat up. Looking back ahead at Jordan Kuntz right now, that number 5 machine leads the way in terms of the battle for the second spot, and is only 4.5 seconds back on Alec Daffin. However, their championship leaders, they're all equaling out in terms of lap time. That time by, the spread between Daffin's lap and Jordan Kuntz's lap, with Vinny Tigner once again in between, was only about 0.4 of a second, so not as many major gains being made on a lap-by-lap basis anymore, and the reason being, Jordan Kuntz and Vinny Tigner alike are both burning up their stuff to get there to Daffin, but there's still a long way to go. Those first 5 or 6 seconds are easy to get by, but then you boil it down to these final 3-4 seconds, and that is when it becomes much harder. Right now for Jordan Kuntz, while he's still making gains, not as substantial, and that time by going to be a 43.463 for Jordan Kuntz. It was a 43.889 for Alec Daffin, so they're now within the same 1 second range, and with Tyrone Yo, the lap machine coming by, he might give it an easy way to Alec Daffin and might not be as nice to the guys behind him, as you'll see Tyrone just ahead now of your race leader. Number 48 machine coming by, the lapper opts to go all the way up to the top. Looks like he's not going to give any fight to Alec Daffin, remains up high as Alec Daffin opts to go right down low, and there's no contact between the lap machines, as it looks like Jacob Elkins comes down to pit road this time by 21 laps into his run. Elkins comes in early, going to try a different strategy to get all the way to the end. At 49 laps in, Alec Daffin leads the way, now getting towed around with a lap machine just ahead of him, and he'll drop down to the bottom side once again as Tyrone Yo is going to stay up top. Looks like that number 2 machine not going to do much of it. However, very close that time by as Tyrone gets the run off the corner and stays side by side with Alec Daffin, so the lapper does not give up, but Alec Daffin still quicker. And just like that, Alec Daffin makes up a spot on the lap machine of Tyrone Yo. Looks like now it's going to be Jordan Kuntz coming through second place, 3.5 seconds away at 49 laps in out of 100. Next time by, it's going to be 50 laps in. And Tigner is going to be in third, as it looks like Matthew Weeks is gaining even more time in the 4th spot. And Matthew Weeks is quicker by a substantial margin. He's got the youngest tires of anyone in the field right now, save for Chris Tripp. Tripp is off cycle, so it means right now that Matthew Weeks of all the drivers who is truly on that leading strategy, he's the quickest and is making more and more time up. And now tries to chase down Jordan Kuntz, who is just ahead of him. So as it stands, 50 laps in, out of 100 in our season finale here for Season 5, it is Alec Daffin with the race lead. Jordan Kuntz then going to be in second, Matthew Weeks in third, and Vinny Tigner holds his own in fourth as they come around this time by halfway down and halfway to go in the season finale here as the Saturday Night Truck Series sees only 50 laps left on the campaign. 100 miles to go to finish off what's been an action-packed season as drivers come down to pit road. Scott Erickson down and in this time by. He's coming in from the 5th position. And it looks like now Erickson makes his way in early, as he did before. Now pit cycle's getting on the move. 24 laps in for Alec Daffin. He's very close to coming down to pit road for his own pit cycle. And Jordan Kuntz, while he is only 17 laps into his run, might have to adjust based on how long we've gone green. No stopping so far, and we have not seen a caution in over a race to this point. Been very clean, very green racing. And right now looking for what could be another caution-free event to finish off the Season 5 campaign. Kuntz runs still in second, and now going to be 3 flat seconds away from Alec Daffin, gaining but just slightly now, about 0.3 of a second per lap, as James Nelson comes into pit road this time by with Henry Kowloff. Both drivers wiggle their way in, and it's going to be the number 35 machine, Kowloff, coming in last but certainly not least as he barrels in to make just a bit more time back up to stay ever so slightly in the championship fight. Now it's going to be Alec Daffin leading, Jordan Kuntz in second, still not down a pit road for the both of them though, and there's still a fight to be had on the track before they go down a pit road once again and continue to battle in regards to their strategy. Matthew Weeks going to be third, Vinny Tigner fourth, and Michael Deitch 17 seconds back on their leader, runs in fifth as pit cycles get open once again. How's about we ride on board right now with the number 5 machine of Jordan Kuntz as he runs second right now in the Season 5 finale. And riding on board here with the ever-aggressive Jordan Kuntz, you'll see how he's catching up to Tyrone Yost, the lap machine that Alec Daffin got right by. So now that number 5 machine cuts down low on the bottom side, going to be side-by-side off corner exit, just barely clears, and the number 2 machine gives way as Jordan Kuntz has a slightly easier path around this number 2 Chevy Silverado. 47 laps to go as it stands, and right now Jordan Kuntz has that second spot. 2.5 seconds ahead of him, though, is Alec Daffin, and 27 laps in on this run, Daffin has maintained the lead for each and every one of them. So it looks like this risky move has been able to pay off so far. But the question becomes, how much longer can Daffin go, and how many more pit stops will he have to make to seal the deal and come home to victory lane at the end of the night? It looks like right now there's no feasible way to make it happen on a 2 pit stop strategy. Jordan Kuntz set himself up well to do just that, but it looks like for Kenneth Garrell, he'll have trouble coming down a pit road, and he nearly hits the tire barrier and comes right back on the track. Kenneth Garrell finds trouble, luckily does not find the caution flag, as with 46 laps to go, Kenneth has an evasive maneuver just outside of pit road, and luckily does not destroy what's left of that Chevy Silverado. Yellow flag will not fly, but Kenneth Garrell does see trouble, and we'll take an instant replay to show you just what happened. Looks like caught up on the apron there, and he slowly but surely drives in, loses it, and is going to end up coming right up the track and has to avoid coming down a pit road. Luckily, no physical damage, maybe a bit of scrubbing on the tire. But overall, Kenneth Garrell, good to keep on going as it stands. The number 57 machine running still in 6th, but has to consider coming down a pit road immediately thereafter, and that he will. So Kenneth Garrell with 45 laps to go. His second attempt down a pit road is here and now, and you see on the live feed this time going to be much more successful with Daffin barreling through. Alec Daffin comes down at light speed and makes it down a pit road for another pit stop for Alec Daffin's number 48 machine. It looks like it's going to be 29 laps on that run, and Daffin will give it up once again. Alec Daffin is going to lead it in, and just like that, Jordan Kuntz and Matthew Weeks, your top two once more with 44 laps to go. Now the question really becomes, how much longer can Jordan Kuntz go on this strategy? Because it looks like right now, even though he has not been able to lead a lap in over 20, he's now back up there once again and has that top spot, and he's been setting himself up for a two-stop run, as opposed to Alec Daffin, who looks to be comfortably going through for a 3 pit stop race. It looks like Daffin has to pit one more time than this number 5 machine that we're looking at here, so it could be an advantage for Jordan Kuntz to run his own race and not pay as much attention as Vinny Tigner, only 2 seconds back on the number 5 machine. And it looks like still Daffin's got a good shot up in the front of the field, but he'll come back down to pit road and run in 5th. Alec Daffin right now going to be the final man inside the top 5, coming back on the track ahead of Jordan Kuntz, and the Shaw Racing drivers once again close to each other, but this time Daffin not on the lead lap, and instead the Ford F-150s got the top spot. 43 laps remaining. This time by, it's going to be Jordan Kuntz leading the way, Matthew Weeks then in second, Vinny Tigner in third, and Michael Deitch in the 4th position. Deitch runs in 4th as it stands, 16 seconds behind your leading driver in the Craftsman number 51 machine. Bass Pro Shops on the hood, and this number 51 is run solid all season long, looking for what could be a podium finish if all goes well, but right now just a few too many drivers ahead fighting for that championship. Deitch, however, still having a solid top 5 run to this point. He'll come back down to pit road this time by and make his way in. That's Alec Daffin making his way down to pit road for what could be the penultimate stop of the season, as Matthew Weeks, Jordan Kuntz also coming through very soon. They've got to consider coming down to pit road. However, they both ran that first pit stop cycle very long, and 59 laps in out of 100, they're getting so close to what could be the very end of their season, and it's all going to come down to whether or not their pit stop cycle is near or far. 26 laps in for Jordan Kuntz on this run on his tires. He's made it happen, and he's made it last long, but he'll have to go about 5, 6, 7 laps at the minimum to lock it in for a two-stop strategy. If not, it'll be a head-to-head battle with Alec Daffin, and so far Daffin, when he's up there, has led those laps and been relentless about just that. He's only going to be 32 seconds behind Jordan Kuntz right now, gaining about 2 seconds a lap. He is substantially quicker and running his fastest laps as it stands. That time by for Alec Daffin, it looks like at the stripe it's going to be a 41.769, only 5/100ths of a second slower than his all-time quickest lap in the session. So Daffin is not playing games. He's fighting as hard as he can get to get back up there for the race lead, as Tyrone's going to take it down to pit road. The number 2 machine is down and in. Pit road getting busy once more, and Matthew Weeks laying back about a half second behind Jordan Kuntz. Top 2 drivers are still going to be on the track with 40 laps remaining. I think it's going to be only 5 or 6 laps that really determine the championship here, as Jordan Kuntz needs to run a few more laps to get to about the 33-34 lap marker, and he'll be good to go for what could be a two-stop strategy when all is said and done. The number 5 machine for Shaw Racing leads it still. Matthew Weeks is in second, and looks like Vinny Tigner still has that 3rd spot, and despite the fact he's fading back, he does have track position, so if that yellow flag were to fly, Vinny Tigner will be back up there, and he's had short run speed in the most recent attempts we'd had getting this race going. He's been up there with Jordan Kuntz, but right now just dropping back more and more. James Nelson gonna take it right by. Nelson's got new tires right now, but runs in 5th, 1 lap down. Scott Erickson as well in at number 50, 1 lap down in 6th. So lap machines are making up time and making more of it as it stands, and we'll see how much longer Jordan Kuntz can handle it, as right now he's going to find himself 28 laps in this run, still on the track with 39 laps to go, and every lap changes how this championship will come to play. 39 laps to go to finish off the season. And still, your final 4 drivers are all eligible, no caution so far. More than halfway in, we've seen more than half of this race in Auto Club play out, and it's still wide open. Jordan Kuntz might have that advantage leading the race right now, but Alec Daffin led an awful lot of laps in his most recent cycle, and he's bound to cycle up to the race lead once again, almost no matter what. Vinny Tigner is also not too far behind, and if push comes to shove, Vinny might be able to make it through, and if Henry Kaloff gets a lucky yellow, there's a chance chance. That number 35 gets right back in the picture. Still anyone's game with 38 laps to go as Jordan Kuntz continues to lead the way now, coming to his 30th lap on this pit cycle. It looks like one driver down a pit road. That is Vinny Tigner making it in after 32 laps on track. And a big gamble for Vinny Tigner as he makes it down and in, this time by the number 12 machine, is through with 33 laps under his belt. And now the question becomes, can he go for 37 more laps immediately thereafter? Looks like Vinny's on the bleeding edge of getting himself a two-stop strategy run, and he's still going to be trying to keep up there with Jordan Kuntz, who's on the track and has decided to stay out lap after lap. Jordan Kuntz is still on the circuit, 64 laps in. Vinny Tigner makes it down in, and he's going to be on pit road even still. Looks like Scott Erickson also coming through this time by with big trouble as he's going to stop it there. The number 50 machine going to be right by the pit entry and slowly but surely gets things going once again. So Scott Erickson, as we saw beforehand, trouble for pit road entry, but Scott Erickson finds his own trouble. First it was Kenneth Carell, now it looks to be this number 50 machine. Let's find out just what happened. As you'll see, he skates up to the top of the wall, gets loose, and then drops it all the way down low into the grass, and he's gonna have a huge hit there, pounding the wall, and Erickson's good run might have just gone to waste as the Toyota Tundra faces a big damage and big trouble, locks it down, gets going once again. But that might be the end of a night for Scott Erickson. He's still on pit road right now as the leaders are going to fly by. There is Jordan Kuntz and the number 5 machine making it through 32 laps on the strategy, and if he goes 2 more laps, it might just be a sealed deal in terms of his strategy call. It's still a big risk, but right now for Jordan Kuntz, it definitely seems to be worth taking. Matthew Weeks is going to run right now side by side with the driver, the number 12, and Vinny Tigner. Tigner's making up time at the same vein, and it looks like now that number 12 Menards machine might be able to make it by Jordan Kuntz and get back on the lead lap before the number 5 machine opts to go down a pit road. Earlier this week on Monday night, it was Jordan Kuntz who sealed the deal and clinched the Schumacher Racing League championship in their Cup Series in 2023. Kuntz was the dominant man in that series and came home with the championship on Monday night. And now to close out the week, it could be Jordan Kuntz coming home as a champion once again, this time in the Saturday Night Truck Series, as with 34 laps to go, he's still fighting, knowing there's a chance, and it's a serious one. 33 laps into his pit stint with 34 laps to go. If he makes it around the stripe one more time, he should be locked in to go to the end with no worries in terms of fuel. And as the number 5 machine comes around this time by, Jordan Kuntz shows no signs of stopping until now. Coming down a pit road this time by, the number 5 machine is going in for what could be his final stop of the season. 67 laps in, and the money stop for all drivers is here and now. Jordan Kuntz is going to make it in, the number 5 machine down a pit road on his own. Matthew Weeks, new race leader, and Alec Daffin set the cycle up ahead of his teammate, and Daffin's going to make it around this time by with 33 laps remaining. Alec Daffin gets right back up there to the top spot on the board as soon as Matthew Weeks is going to get down to pit road. Weeks has the race lead, has not come down to pit road for the second and final time. And it looks like right now, compared to all other drivers, Jordan Kuntz, Matthew Weeks are on a solid strategy to go to the end, and just like that, Matthew Weeks makes it down and in. 33 laps on his run with 33 to go. Matthew Weeks makes it through. Alec Daffin now going to cycle up to the race lead, and the number 48 machine in the dying laps of this season will get the race lead once again. But the question remains, 33 to go, 11 laps in, already on the run. Daffin's got to come down to pit road at least one more time, and I don't think there's any way to avoid that right now for this number 48 machine. So we'll see what Daffin can do here. With 32 now left, time is running out, and he's got to evaluate his options more and more. Time is approaching its end in this season and his chances of the championship. His final full-time effort here with Shaw Racing, over 2 years of good memories and success, and this season he's seen multiple victories to break out of a winless slump, and he saw himself almost winless winless last season. He came through with 1 victory at Kentucky. This season he came home with 2, and he got it done multiple attempts with 2 consecutive victories. Then went to Richmond, second place there, right behind his teammate in Jordan Kuntz. And as it stands, Alec Daffin has been one of the hottest drivers in this playoff format. But now, in the final laps of this event, it looks like as Matthew Weeks has come down to pit road, Daffin's got to figure out how to make this strategy work. Vinny Tigner, he's close to making it happen as well. 5 laps into his run with 31 laps to go. While it might not be foreseeable for this number 12 to make it to the end on the proper strategy, he's given it a run for his money. And now holds his own in the catbird seat. And the hope for these drivers right now, if they're not on that proper strategy, they're of course waiting for what could be a caution flag. Simply, these drivers have not gotten the shot to come down to pit road in a controlled caution. Yellow flags have not been all too frequent, and as such, the driver of the number 12 machine, Vinny Tigner, holding his own right on board with Vinny here, as we're going to see the perspective of the second place driver in the championship run. Right now, riding on board here with Vinny Tigner, you'll see nobody directly ahead of him, but he knows he's chasing down Alec Daffin, who has 15 seconds clearance ahead of the rest of the field. 71 laps in, heading now to what would be lap number 72 for Vinny Tigner. Daffin's already there, and nearly half a lap ahead of the rest of the field with 29 laps left in this one. The Shaw Racing 48 machine experiencing that final test of dominance. As you'll see now, Jordan Kuntz comes down to the bottom side of Vinny Tigner and immediately takes that second place away. Jordan Kuntz takes another spot in the final few laps, now up to second already, and only the final position change will come down to Daffin and Jordan Kuntz if this pace remains. Now, it's not a certainty, of course. Vinny Tigner could come back, but it looks like the way that Jordan Kuntz played out in his strategy, he has a set of tire 4 laps younger. So as such, it looks like the number 5 machine is going to be solidly inside the second spot. If not, he'll claw up there to first. And with the final laps just ahead, 28 laps to go, the championship will be decided by the Shaw Racing teammates of Alec Daffin and Jordan Kuntz. First and second respectively right now, your final 4 run in the following positions. First for Alec Daffin, second for Jordan Kuntz, third for Vinny Tigner, and in the 4th position, it's now no longer going to be 4th, but in 6th, Henry Kaloff, not running his best race this night. It looks like the 35 machine continuing to face trouble, and Chris Tripp comes down to pit road once again for his final stop of the season. Every pit stop from this point onward expected to be a driver's final in Season 5. 27 laps to go and still counting down. And it looks like now, Daffin coming to grips with the reality here. One more pit stop left for him. And it looks like for Jordan Kuntz, he can go as hard as he needs to and still make it to the finish of this race. It's he and Matthew Weeks will be fighting for the race win here, as Matthew Weeks understands that he is more than clear to go fighting for that checkered flag. He's been able to save just enough fuel to make it happen on both runs so far, and now is going to extend his opportunity for a race win one last time. Looking to go for the checkered flag to finish off Season 5. Matthew Weeks giving us a taste of what could be a next season's championship contender. That number 11 machine currently runs in 3rd, but is only going to be about 5/10 of a second back on Jordan Kuntz. And with no championship worries, Matthew Weeks is there, gaining more and more time on the number 5. Alec Daffin leads now by only 10 seconds, and it looks like he's continuing to lose time. And the question now is not going to come down to if these drivers can catch up to Alec Daffin. As we saw, they were not able to do so the time prior. However, it really comes down to when Alec Daffin makes that pit stop. Because right now, if he hasn't done so already, of course he hasn't, he's going to end up losing that race lead, losing an awful lot of time, and that might just cause him the championship to go not to the 48, but instead to the 5 or the number 12, or even 35 of Henry Kaloff. Just depends on how things change in the final laps. Henry Kaloff comes down to pit road once again for what will be his final pit stop of the night. And splitting the cycle, Henry Kaloff 1 lap down as it stands with 25 laps to go. Misses his pit stall and looks like continued troubles there for that number 35 team. Just has not been their night as Matthew Weeks is gaining more and more time on Jordan Kuntz. You'll see there that Matthew Weeks is going to be barreling down the back straightaway. He's got more speed, he's got younger tire, and he's got no reason to worry. So take a look at this number 5 machine. Jordan Kuntz going to have to defend. No reason to defend hard right now, and the big question is how much time will be given to Matthew Weeks, because Matthew is clearly quicker. The championship will not be decided by the winner of this race in particular. The highest finisher inside the final 4, no matter where they finish, comes home as your race winner. Michael Boone going to be coming down a pit road this time by, so Michael makes it in. Looks like Curtis Sabarin does as well, and with 24 laps to go, another pair makes their way through. Alec Daffin in the number 1 spot, the 48 machine still leading the way, and he's got himself ahead with only a few laps to spare. 20 laps done in this run with 24 to go. He would have to do the unthinkable and go 44 laps on this stint, which has just not been done so far tonight, and it looks like for all drivers, simply not possible. Unless he's going to be able to break through and do something no driver has done throughout the event, it looks like for Alec Daffin, the championship chance is slowly but surely fading away. Matthew Weeks is going to grab that second spot from Jordan Kuntz and get it by only a few thousandths of a second, breaking it at 1 and 2. Matthew Weeks has the advantage, and just like that, the number 11 takes it away from Jordan Kuntz, and his own pursuit of a race victory gets that number 11 back up in front with 23 laps to go. Coming around this time by what will be 22 laps to go, and as always, an FTN with the best camera providers on the iRacing market. TrackCams22.com has you covered. If you're an iRacing broadcaster, you work with sim racing photography, the best place you can go to get started is TrackCams22.com. With over 100 track and car combinations, the best content in the business. Check out TrackCams22.com after tonight's broadcast as we crank it up for the final time this season with 22 laps to go. And the caution will fly with 18 laps to go, the first caution of the day, and you saw it unfold with Henry Caloff and company. Just like that, the yellow flag is out, and we're going to see it there with Tyrone Gill's perspective, and the crank it up concludes prematurely. We've got ourselves a caution, and it's going to be a last dash the championship. All of a sudden, we've got ourselves a fight to behold, and just about every driver who's in this race back in contention. You saw it there. Curtis Barron's the man who got involved, and his front end absolutely destroyed. So we'll take it back here immediately to find out what caused it. As you'll take a look at the instant replay, looks like some hard-fought racing. Curtis Barron, Henry Caloff, and just like that, everything begins to unfold, and the chaos continues. Take a look once again. Curtis Barron going to be on the bottom side there, and Henry Caloff going to be right on top. They're all going to be close to each other, of course, nearly side by side the whole lap, and Sabarin going to get dumped right there by the 35, and Curtis might see his season end prematurely, as with 17 laps to go, the caution will fly, and the number 6 machine sees trouble, so Henry Caloff's night, not the best of which for the championship for contenders, and he's still one lap down, but no major damage for this 35 machine. Curtis Barron on the other side of the spectrum has a lot more to worry about, and we'll see how this number 6 feels as the race goes on, because it might be the best chance that any other driver has. Of course, Alec Daffin, Vinny Tigner, both oh so close to Jordan Kuntz here, and Matthew Weeks leads the way, so now this is going to be a final chance to see who's got the speed in the short term, as opposed to that long run being everything that we set out to see. Now pit road's going to get busy once again. Taking a look down to the bottom side, Matthew Weeks will lead the way, bringing down your championship 4 contenders, with the exception now of Alec Daffin, as Daffin has used up all he has and now finds himself pulling back up to the iRacing official pace car. We'll see what his final verdict is, and it looks like for Alec Daffin, he's going to choose to drop down to pit road and also come in flying down to the bottom as soon as possible. Jordan Kuntz coming in at the same time here, and you'll see pit road going to get busy for the money stop tonight. Jordan Kuntz going to come down to mid. He's right by the exit of pit road. Now you'll see Vinny Tigner also going to be taking the same load. It's going to be tires and fuel as they all make their way through. Looks like Matthew Weeks already going to be on the way, and with Matthew Weeks moving out, it's going to be Jordan Kuntz who gets to beat him, and the 5 machine out first. Then Matthew Weeks, followed by Vinny Tigner, and in addition, just after the fact, you'll see Henry Caloff getting going. And waiting now on Alec Daffin, as it looks like Daffin hops out of the cockpit and gets back going in the 4th spot. So Alec Daffin also going to get on the move there in the 48. And just like that, Jordan Kuntz is a minor buffer on track. Not anything to survive with, but it is nice to have. So a bit of a nice to have advantage there for Jordan Kuntz. Matthew Weeks going to be 2nd, Vinny Tigner 3rd, Alec Daffin 4th. And just like that, with 16 laps remaining, the final laps are going to come down to whether or not this overtime run, it's not necessarily overtime, but it brings it all back as if it is an extra portion of the race. We saw over 80 green flag laps, and now in the dying portions of this race, we have ourselves a thriller of a finish ahead, as Jordan Kuntz has to run away from the championship hopeful, who will now be just behind him. 15 laps to go here and now. It's going to be only 14 when we get back at it, and just over a baker's dozen to conclude this season. Tires are all fresh. Leaders now are all on the same set of new tire. Lap machines are getting their laps back. We get put back on that lead lap. Henry Caloff, the exception for causing that incident. He's going to be still there with the drivers who are already by the pace car. He will not get that lap back. Instead, like that, it's going to be a total only of 6 drivers on the lead lap. 1 caution so far tonight, and it might be the most impactful caution of the season. Now, it's going to be Jordan Kuntz, in addition, Matthew Weeks, Vinny Tigner as well, and Alec Daffin all up in the top 5. It's also going to include James Nelson, Michael Deitch in the mix too, and just like that, 15 laps to go in what will be the most intense restart of the season. Championship hopes come down to this, race winning hopes come down to this as well, and tonight will end with the number 5 machine of Jordan Kuntz facing directly off with the 12 of Vinny Tigner and the 48 of Alec Daffin. 3 of their championship 4 contenders remain on the lead lap, And now time to see which one of them still has enough in the tank to come home with the checkered flag. It's a level playing field, and now we've got ourselves a restart of the ages. Lap machines are getting back there with the leaders, but all those who are on the lead lap are already set up to go once again. iRacing official pace car going to drop down and into pit road and let Jordan Kuntz lead the way. Now there's more pressure than ever as the championship drivers are all bundled up through the Geico restart zone. They'll go for the first restart of the day. Green flag is out with 14 laps remaining. Be able to get that jump nice and clean out in front of the field. Now Alec Daffin's going to try to make a move down low on Matthew Weeks. Championship implications, but Matthew Weeks has been just about the quickest driver all night long. He knows his chance of the race win is still not over, and now it's going to give Jordan Kuntz a shot to break away even further. Look at how far out Jordan Kuntz has gotten already. Quarter of a second, if not more than that. Alec Daffin goes down low, trying to trail up to his race-leading teammate, but the 48 machine still going to be hung out to dry here on the bottom side, looking for any opportunity, just has not found it. Jordan Kuntz leads the way 88 laps in, has that advantage now just over Vinny Tigner, and if Vinny's going to be on the back bumper, less than 2/10 of a second to separate. Take a look now with the number 12 machine on the deck lid perspective of Jordan Kuntz. Top two drivers as close as they can be. Alec Daffin not too far behind, and now with 13 laps to go, will there be a surprise in the field? That remains to be seen as Jordan Kuntz has the edge, but Vinny Tigner's got the momentum, and now with 12 laps to go, Tigner looks high, goes down low, and they'll be side by side for the race lead. Vinny Tigner goes down to the bottom side, and the number 12 machine's got the opportunity to go right there forward. He's got the speed, has it down low, and it could be enough momentum, but Vinny Tigner doesn't account for that high side, and just like that, Kuntz gets the top spot right back. Take a look there for Matthew Weeks as well, because Weeks will now go down to the bottom side and try to make it 3 wide for the race lead. 3 wide up in front, Alec Daffin just behind. And now, they're as close as they possibly can be. Daffin gets the big run, looks to the middle. Can he look any lower? He cannot. They're 3 wide at the stripe. It's Tigner and Kuntz right next to each other. Matthew Weeks lays off just a bit, but the Shaw Racing teammates are now even closer, and Alec Daffin is there once again. 11 laps to go, and the Shaw Racing 1-2 duo is up there on the high side. Vinny Tigner alone on the bottom, and now the Ford F-150 with no help on that lower groove sees Alec Daffin coming up, and he's got all the momentum in the world, gives the bumper to his teammates, and just like that, when all hope seemed to be lost for Alec Daffin, he pulls right back in a frame, and they're going to be side by side once again for the race lead. Near contact, luckily nothing comes of it, and now with 11 laps to go, it's going to be Daffin staying high. Tigner goes low, he'll try to lunge it in once again, and they're going to have 10 laps remaining here. Shaw Racing seeing their flagship driver signing out for the final time, his final full-time race, and for Jordan Kuntz, his first season with Shaw has given them countless memories already. A fantastic driver, your defending champion, but he does not want to settle for anything less but another title, and he knows he's right there as they come through side by side once again. They're going to be neck and neck going through turns 3 and 4. Vinny Tigner on the bottom, Alec Daffin still right behind, and as they come at the stripe, Vinny Tigner going to be on the bottom, but not enough speed just yet. At the line, still going to be there with Jordan Kuntz. He leads the way. Alec Daffin still up top, helping his teammate out, but we'll see how much longer these guys play it as teammates until Alec Daffin has enough, because he knows this is his chance of the championship for the final time as a driver here in the Saturday Night Truck Series, and he wants to go out with the bang. He knows that his teammate Jordan Kuntz already has a championship under his belt. Why not go for your own, knowing there's no shot and of course, his future to come back and go for a title. This is the go big or go home night for that number 48 team, but right now looks like the big shot is the number 5, who still leads the way and has the advantage coming across the stripe this time by. It'll be 8 laps to go. 3 of your championship 4 are within 1/10 of a second, and they're not getting any further apart. Now it's going to be the number 48 machine give another shove again to number 5. Jordan Coots has the lead, but just barely. Take a look now at Vinny Tigner down on the bottom, and take a look overhead as we'll take a look over the track here in Fontana. That's how close they are each and every segment of the circuit. Daffin gets the shove going once again, pushing his teammate further out in front. It's going to be through 3 and 4 where Vinny Tigner tries to lunge it down to the bottom, but simply no momentum. Coming by a packed crowd here in the virtual Auto Club Speedway, it's still Jordan Coots with that slight edge up top, and that's enough to keep Alec Daffin on the back bumper linked together. Those two drivers are up at the head of the field. The Shaw Racing duo up top. The number 12 machine still going to be on his own, but fighting very well, as the lap up top here shows you these drivers are not giving up and not giving in. Daffin going to slide a bit further high and lose some momentum here as they barrel down the back straightaway, and it's going to be all about getting that draft right back. As you can see now, Matthew Weeks gets in the picture once again, and Matthew Weeks will not give up for his own chance. He wants to win. Doesn't matter to him per se when it comes to the championship. He does care, but it doesn't quite matter compared to getting that checkered flag. That's what he wants, and that's what he needs. As they come across this time by, close to making it by below Daffin, doesn't quite make the lunge. 6 laps to go, and they're all wrapped under a blanket. Daffin's got it there on the high side. Jordan Coots right there too. Vinny Tigner gonna take it down to the bottom and nearly clear, but goes right up the track and washes way up high. Is there contact with the wall? Barely avoided. How about that one? That time around, 6 laps to go, about as close as it gets, and still they're fighting. The Menards number 12 machine lunges down to the bottom side yet again. It's gonna be the Shaw Racing Ford F-150 right up top, side by side. 6 laps to go, and you'll see Coots up top still has it there. That high groove is his, and with 5 laps remaining, this time by, they're neck and neck still. Alec Daffin right behind, and you'll see Matthew Weeks still has the best seat in the house. And the perspective right behind this race for the championship, not just for the win, but for the title as well, knowing all these drivers just ahead of you are championship eligible, and every move they make impacts the title race. It's that much more exciting, but you know the pressure is major. These three have not been with each other all race long. The pit strategy separated them. It looked like Jordan Coots will be able to run away quickly and cleanly. It looked like if anyone could get back there, Vinny Tigner would, and as Alec Daffin gave away the lead with 22 laps to go, he thought it surely was for the final time this season. Well, think again, as this time by, it's only 4 laps to go, and all 3 drivers in the championship race are right up to each other, neck and neck and neck. Daffin still remains right behind. Vinny Tigner and Jordan Coots still are side by side, but it looks like Jordan's gets a minor advantage, and now Daffin's going to try to push this number 12 right out of his way and try to put that number 48 machine in the second spot. Where does Daffin go? Remains behind. Vinny Tigner lunges down to the bottom, compromises both lanes, and they'll be much slower here with Daffin having that advantage with 3 laps to go this coming lap. Side by side, down the front straightaway once again. The Geico restart zone is going to be empty this time by, safer machines 1 lap down. 4 laps to go, make it 3. They're beating and banging just a bit. Jordan Coots sees contact. It looks like Alec Daffin does too. Alec is going to fall back just a bit further here, knowing he has to get his momentum right back up. Does not want to lose all he's worked for here, as with 98 laps out of 100 already done. Up next, Alec Daffin goes for the move down low. 3 wide for the championship. Daffin takes it down to the bottom. He's got the run down low. He'll try to keep it down to the bottom, but they'll wash up high. They're still side by side, and Matthew Weeks keeps on watching. Barely going to be avoidance of contact there, as Daffin slots right ahead of that number 11, and Matthew Weeks is still the onlooker as only 4 miles remain. The championship battle still far from over here. Watch on board with Vinny Tigner as he just barely grabs the lead. And now with a lap and a half remaining, it's going to be a major block there on Alec Daffin. Every block and every moment means that much more in the final segments of the season. Three drivers will have fought equally hard to get to this point, and in a winner-take-all finale, they're rubbing each other up. Coming down to the white flag this time by this race will be official, and Jordan Kuntz takes us down to the final lap in Fontana. Kuntz barely has the advantage as your defending champion. He's got the race lead, but it could go either way as it's going to now be Vinny Tigner heading down to the bottom once again. It's his final shot to go way down low. He's got the move. They'll nearly make contact and come down the backstretch once again. Daffin makes contact and they will wreck. Daffin hits Tigner. They're both out of championship contention, and prematurely the championship race comes to an end. The number 5 of Jordan Kuntz, he won the championship last season. He joins the powerhouse of Shaw Racing, and the only expectation was to repeat that feat once again. And as it comes across the checkered flag, this time by Fontana, Jordan Kuntz is a 2-time Saturday Night Truck Series champion. Kuntz will win. Matthew Weeks comes home in second, and a dejected Alec Daffin completes the podium. And a last lap wreck in an ironically enough clean season. The final lap, the championship race, is determined by an incident on the 100th and final lap of the night. And we'll take a look back immediately as the checkered flag falls. Chaos ensues. Take a look once again here. We'll take it all the way back to that incident, and it looks like overhead will give you the best view of it all. I mean, Alec Daffin gets away, but not so much there for Vinny Tigner. And just going for that racing room, knowing how intense it is, it all comes down to the final moments, and there's contact to end the night. Jordan Kuntz, a race winner at the end of it all, and more than that for the number 5 campaign. It's a championship victory as he heads down to the start-finish line to burn it down in Fontana. And coming to victory lane, he'll continue to burn it down. Jordan Kuntz, the celebration goes on, and as he won it last season, the championship is his. Once again, a title winner on Monday night and a title winner here on Saturday. The number 5 Shaw Racing Machine will park it in Gatorade victory lane. And once again, when the season concludes, he comes home as a champion in the Saturday Night Truck Series. And with that final run to the checkered flag, as intense as it possibly could be, nothing else to say after a fantastic season here. 12 great races and an exciting championship battle till the very end. Every driver gave it their 110% effort. And tonight, of course, as you mentioned, of the 4 drivers who came in, only one can come out as the title winner. And tonight, that man is Jordan Kuntz. Kuntz will get it done with a pole position just ahead of Matthew Weeks in second, Alec Daffin third, and James Nelson position number 4. Then from there, it's going to be 5th and Michael Deitch. Vinny Tigner is going to be 6th, and Michael Boot will be in 7th, with Henry Kaloff 8th, Tyrone Johan 9th, and Curtis Sabaron concluding the top 10. 11th is Kenneth Garrell, Jacob Elkins is 12th, Chris Tripp 13th, and Scott Erickson the 14th and final driver in Fontana. And a thrilling finish concludes with the number 5 of Jordan Kuntz back on top. He's been waiting as long as he could, a season's worth of a hiatus in terms of crowning a champion, and it ends the same way it began. Defending champion Jordan Kuntz all over again. He's a title winner and goes back-to-back in seasons 4 and 5. And how about that finish of the championship here? The number 5 machine, we were waiting to see who would break through. The championship strategy looked to play out over the green flag run, where Jordan had that advantage, but you can't count on a green flag run. There's always excitement around the bend, and tonight we saw that caution to conclude the season. One final run. Tonight, though, when it comes to ending Season 5, back-to-back champion will be crowned, joining Shaw Racing, the same success as the season before. Jordan Kuntz, you're a 2-time champion in the Saturday Night Truck Series. As it comes through for another season finale, you win again. How does it feel back on top?
It felt good. The race definitely was a lot closer than it should have been with the late caution. Of course, it became a draft race after, but it was a really fun strategy race before then. I had it won, and then the caution came out, and it's a really good race between me, Vinny, and Alec, and for the championship. And I'm glad it ended this way for me to win it. Kind of sucks for Alec and Vinny to wreck on the last lap, but yeah, it was a really fun season, and glad I could come out on top.
And we saw that final overtime finish to end the season after such a long green flag run. So how was it adjusting with that final swing in momentum? Of course, everyone having a chance at the end, and you just had to play it safe and play it smooth to get to the finish as a winner.
Yeah. So the whole race was tire saving, taking it easy on the first few laps. So I definitely had to reprogram and go into like qualifying mode to an extent to keep the lead, and yeah, just wanted the outside on the restart and got it with a great jump and managed to hold it until the end.
And holding on to the checkered flag tonight, we saw the ups and downs of strategy and all those big decisions made along the way. And it's a reflection, of course, of another great season here and back-to-back championship for you. How was it doing it 2 times over now that you've had the experience in a definitely much different Season 5?
Yeah, definitely a bit different in the sense of a whole new league name and new admins, but it was just a good racing, really clean throughout, and very fun each and every race, with each race being very different from the other, having to adapt each race. And to say that I was able to win as many times as I did and to eventually come out on top as a champion is amazing, and look forward to trying to win a few more next season.
And you've done it once again. 2-time champion Jordan Kuntz. You pulled through, and 2 championships you win this week. It looks like a very successful campaign for your overall racing efforts. Is there anything else you'd like to leave us with before we head to Season 6 come 2024?
I would like to thank Cameron for giving me this opportunity to bring the Shaw Racing number 5 truck home into the victory lane tonight and bring home the championship. I'd like to thank to all the admins, Carter Casey for race control, for all the races he done this season, Vinny for the amount of effort he put into this league throughout the season, and to have it being a really successful season. To everyone watching this race, thank you. And of course all my family for supporting me along the way.
And the night ends once again with Jordan Kuntz crowned a champion, 2-time title winner, and Season 5 goes the way of the number 5, Jordan Kuntz, repeat champion. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And Jordan Kuntz will get it done. The checkered flag is his once again. Matthew Weeks going to be second tonight. And for Matthew, part-time campaign, but we saw you had big-time speed here in Auto Club. As it all came down to the end of it, you were right there with the best seat in the house. You came home second, avoided the chaos. How do you feel?
I guess I feel okay, because if that caution didn't come out, I would have won this race, man. That could have been 3 races in a row, so I'm kind of devastated. I mean, down, not really devastated, but down about that. But oh no, I feel good, dude. The car was hooked up tonight. I mean, the truck, and we were fast on the long run, really fast.
And that long run speed, we saw this number 11 machine just about the quickest on the track. You weren't in championship contention, but of course, every driver here, they're going for the win no matter what. You gave them a real good fight till the very end. So how was it making those moves to keep yourself in the battle until that checkered flag fell?
It felt good. I know that when the caution come out, I was like, I'm not gonna win this race, and then I know I tried to make a move on Vinny and Jordan 3 wide, and my main goal was just to try to clear them and let those guys race because I was just there to win. And then once that didn't work and Alec was there, I decided just to sit back behind them and just watch and wait and see if they wreck and try to steal the win. I was wanting to let them battle it out.
You sat back there, watched the battle for the championship, and unfortunately we saw what happened there to end it, but you came home with another solid finish, and you really did back up the performance there from Michigan. You came back, end the season, had yourself 2 podium runs, and already looking up to next season in 2024, what are your plans of returning for at least maybe a few more part-time efforts, if not a full-time championship run?
I was just talking to Vinny with the Xfinity car moving in, and we're running that. I'm probably coming back full time for sure. So I'll be here every single weekend next season. So I look forward to that. I know I wasn't a championship guy, but if I was here full season, I felt like I could have been a contender. I felt really fast at 3 or 4 races I did, snagged 1 win. I possibly could have won Michigan, but I got hung up behind that lap car. And then tonight, if that caution didn't come out, man, that's like 3 wins in a row to end the season. So I feel good going to next season. I'm confident. I feel I run better in the Xfinity car. So I'm excited, dude. I'm ready to get to it.
And we're as excited as it gets to see what's next here for the Saturday Night Truck Series. As you mentioned, big plans ahead, and they're going to look much different. But Matthew Weeks, you come home second tonight to finish off a part-time campaign. Is there anything else you'd like to leave us with before we head on to what's next?
Shout out to you, man. You do a good job. Shout out to the league. I know they took over and they did a great job turning it around. Huge shout out to Jordan, all the championship guys, man. He snagged the championship. I don't remember if he won it the full season I ran in or not, but man, he's quick everywhere I see him in official. But he's good, dude. So congrats to him. Everyone else that let me go tonight, dude, thank you. Y'all noticed I was coming on the long run and y'all let me go and didn't race me hard. I appreciate that so much. That's respect. JV Designs, who makes most of my schemes. JD Designs, who makes the other. Everyone who watches, and everyone, dude, all the people in the league. I had fun tonight.
And it was a fun way to wrap up the 2023 campaign here in the Saturday Night Truck Series. Second place here in Auto Club, Matthew Weeks. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, man, you have a good one.
There we have it, Alec Daffin, our next man up, the final on the podium tonight, and a last dance in a full-time run of over 2 years. Alec Daffin, you pulled through for the 3rd place finish tonight. Can you walk us through this one? Of course, ending a 10-year long one with Shaw Racing.
Yes, definitely. I mean, ultimately, I feel like we're about second best all season, considering we missed a couple races. But it was definitely a rough race out there tonight. I mean, a couple of different variables played out. Not in my favor. Obviously, I screwed my qualifying lap, or else I would have been on the front row at least. And then kind of burned my tires getting through the field. And then I tried that 3-stop strategy there. I don't know if it was going to work, but we got my shot at there. And of course, caution came out right after we pit. And then my choice was either restart 4th on equal tires. Thankfully, there were only 4 cars on the lead lap, so I had that option. Or restart in the lead with like 2 lap or tires. We factor in a couple caution laps, plus a green flag lap. And I decided to go with the former strategy there. And it could have been the lead, but I felt like I would have just gone shuffled back right away. So, I mean, it's kind of just, cars weren't really in my favor tonight, but kind of luck, kind of did it to myself. But you know what? Ultimately, I mean, it was a good run, valiant effort, good season, and sucks we wrecked on last lap there. I mean, we're all racing hard. Vinny apologized. He owned up to it, so no hard feelings. And I know Vinny always races clean, so. But yeah, I mean, yeah, ultimately, I mean, congrats to join on the championship. 1-2 for Shaw Racing. Wish it could have gone championship my final full season, but you know what? Bust their ass there, and we were there. Didn't play out, but we tried our best, David.
And 1-2 for Shaw Racing, as you mentioned now. You said it already. It is your final full-time season with Shaw Racing in terms of your iRacing career here. There's a lot to look forward to for what's left, but you're going to do it a different way. A few different plans to move on to 2024. So what's your outlook on what's next here after 2 consecutive seasons in the Final Four?
Yeah, so I just posted an announcement on Twitter today I've been thinking about for a while. So basically, like, I'm going to stay with my plan right now. It could change throughout next year or so, but plan right now is I'm going to stay with Shaw Racing until the end of November here. Obviously, I'm running with them in the Integrity League, so I'm going to try and win a championship there. And then running with them in very special series with iRacing service. And then December, I'm planning on taking a break. I'm just going to step away from iRacing for a while, just focus on life, try to recharge my batteries, quote unquote, and then come back in January. Obviously, I'm on the college series, Colorado Technical University. So I'm going to be running that full time, which that's only once a month, but that'll be my only quote unquote full time commitment. Then I plan on being back here in Saturday Night Trucks. I guess they'll be on a different name next season with the Xfinity cars, but I'll probably run at least a couple races there, plus the Cannonball iRacing series, which they run the Gen 6 cars next year on Friday nights. So I'll be doing that. And other than that, I'm not sure, but yeah, it's going to be kind of running when I want to, just kind of doing things on my own time and not really having any full-time commitments other than the college series. But yeah, I'll do that until like early May of next year. And then after that, I plan on taking an indefinite break from iRacing to try to, because I'm planning on moving out of state and doing some other stuff. So gonna work on that. And then I might be back late 2024, early 2025. Tentatively, that could change, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for the next year or so right now.
And different outlook for Alec Daffin in the future here on iRacing, but you pulled through once again for a second place points finish here in the Saturday Night Truck Series. After a thrilling Season 5, is there anything else you'd like to leave us with, rounding out our top 3?
Yeah, I also just want to say thank you for broadcasting the last 2 seasons. Not sure if you'll be back next season or not, but if you are, that'll be awesome. Congrats to Jordan on the championship. Thanks, Cameron, Showers and Procs. Obviously, I'll still be with the team for the next couple of weeks, but thank you to Cameron for having me here for the last, I guess, 4 truck seasons now, plus the next gen early last year. So it's been fun. I think we won 8 races, made the final 4 trucks every season. Could never come out on top, but we were there. Thanks to my Twitch viewers at Alec Daffin 48, Team Chevy, and yeah, I think that's it.
And concluding a successful tenure with Shaw Racing, Alec Daffin rounds out the top 3 tonight's event, finishing the Season 5 finale second in points. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, David.
And with Alec Daffin on the move, that ends a thrilling Season 5 with Daffin third, Matthew Weeks second, and your 2-time champion, Jordan Kuntz, winning from Fontana. We thank you all for watching throughout the entirety of the season. We've got to get on to another broadcast very soon, but we will be back for next season. 2024, going to look much different, but it'll be as exciting as ever. I've been David Kreutz, commentating and producing all tonight's action and all of Season 5 here in the Saturday Night Truck Series. We'd love to have you back for Saturday nights, because we'll be live with the Full Send SuperSpeedway Series, and they'll be racing every Saturday at this same time slot until we come back with what will be Season 6 with a much different look. Thank you all for watching live again at FTN. If you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Your support is always greatly appreciated. Thank you all for watching, and we hope you have a fantastic night.